Menjadi bagian dari kru pesawat adalah impian yang datang tiba-tiba. Bette Nash, seorang pramugari berusia 80 tahun, hingga kini masih bersemangat menjalankan tugas-tugasnya melayani dan membantu para penumpang bersama para kru kabin lainnya. Koresponden CNN, Firfer, mengulas perjalanan karir Bette.
It's before dawn and Bette Nash is making a walk she has made for 59 years.
Oh, I better hold my stomach in.
A walk through the airport terminal with her usual sense of humor.
But you have to take the old age with everything. That's the problem.
I'm 68.
But I'm 80.
Yep, you heard that right. Bette Nash is 80 years young.
And then I said, oh no, it's the plaster of Paris.
When she began working as a flight attendant in 1957, Eisenhower was president. The S&P was newly created, and gas was 24 cents a gallon.
And the pilots come and go and retire, and I keep staying here the whole time.
For Bette, becoming a flight attendant was love at first sight.
It was in 1952, and I was 16, and my mother and I were sitting on the couch waiting for our flight to Dayton, Ohio, on TWA. And then up the steps came this crew. I guess it was a flight attendant and a pilot and two pilots. And I said, that is for me. That's the job for me.
At age 21, she went to work for Eastern Airlines.
And this is me in the first uniform.
What happened to all these women?
Beats me. They're all, I think some of them are dead. You know, at my age, people are dead. Tablet and everything. I would come to the airport to find out my flight. I would have to look at a chalkboard, and they would chalk up all the morning flights, then they'd erase it and put up all the afternoon flights. And we used to walk down the runway. I mean, you couldn't imagine it today. We'd walk down the side and cross over there. Okay, no planes coming, just like no cars coming. Okay, no planes coming. We'd walk across the runway to operations. To present our image of glamour was we had to wear the white gloves all the time. I mean, we had the hats on. You had to wear the hat during flight. I mean, who ever heard of serving a meal to someone in your house with a hat on? You know, it was more formal. I mean, I remember Jacqueline Kennedy came on one day and said, is this plane, you know how her voice was, is this plane going to Washington? And I turned around and there was Jackie Kennedy right there. And I remember having on the white gloves and an armful of magazines. And I said, oh yes, you know.
The travail has been taken out of travel.
Well, I went through with Marlboros and Winstons and matches on the tray. Would you care for a cigarette? Free, they were free, you know, little packs of cigarettes. I did a 5-cart service, like when we went to Mexico City, or there were a couple places, and to the West Coast. And we would have to take these carts out and send them up. And we'd have roast beef that we'd carve. Then we'd have these, you know, cakes that we, you know, cut pieces in front of people. Then we had cordials and all that kind of stuff that we served, you know. Silver, you know, poured stuff out of silver coffee pots and all that kind of stuff.
Fly with the people of Eastern. See how much better an airline can be.
She has flown for the same company her whole career. After Trump Airlines bought part of Eastern, then U.S. Airways bought the Trump shuttle, she continued to fly when U.S. Airways merged with American.
Hi, I love your coat. Oh.
So, after more than half a century, why does she still work?
Being here is just my social life. That's what I say, you know, to people. Let me help you out. Thank you.
Today, Bette is a celebrity of sorts, taking selfies, signing autographs, and accepting gifts and notes.
Bette Nash has been employed in the airline as a flight attendant for 58 years now.
Thank you.
How long will you fly?
I don't know. You know, your health is everything. If you have good health, and at 80, you don't know what's next for you. But anyway, this is how I am.
And how she is grand. Firfer, CNN, Washington.